Hi guys, it's Keith Arkenberg Farms. It is the first week of October 2020. As you can see around me, I've got my caterpillar tunnel up, which I did a video on not too long ago building it, and as you can see now, I'm actually in a different spot. Before I was building up over there, but the rotation ended up not quite right. I'm going to be able to get a couple more cuts out of there, so we moved on to another open spot. Today I'm going to show you how we cover it. As you can see, the build on this is pretty simple. Got some connectors. There they are. They're 4-way. Got those off of Amazon. You can find them every place online too. You can use chain link top rail. Use my bend and jig. Put the bend down there, straight all the way up. I got a splice right here in the middle. A couple Tech screws holding that together. Then I got my bow space 6 foot running all the way down with my 4-way connectors. That gives me a solid ridge beam up there, which actually gives me pretty good stability. I get a little bit of rock in it, but that should tighten up once I get the plastic on. One thing I did do over here in the corner is that diagonal brace. Got 1 3/8 bands down there, 3/4 inch conduit, EMT. Just smash the end down. Let me turn you around here. So what I did was just cut it to length. Then I smashed the end so it's flat. Ran it through my band. Did the same thing down here. It's not going anywhere. Nice and sturdy. Now put the plastic on. Since I'm not doing a traditional caterpillar tunnel where everything's all pulled down at the end and you use some stakes and what have you, this is going to be open end wall, and I'll put some doors in it later. I'm going to put wiggle wire and track down these last bows on both ends. For that, I ordered in a bunch of track. I've got some laying around the farm too. For this, I just go through. I go 1 inch in from the end. I make a mark. I like to pre-mark everything. That way it makes it a lot easier when it comes time for construction. Then I just come down and put a mark every foot. These ones are 8 foot tall, which is great because it'll give me a lot more length when it comes time to actually start installing it. And also on top of that, my end wall design is going to rely on these, which is going to be great. So these are actually, there's 8 foot, 8 foot 11. Just come back 1 inch from the end. Now, I like to go through and pre-drill all these, so it'll look like this when I'm done. This is a piece I took off another one. My quick caterpillar tunnel from last year. I'm actually going to reuse these because I have them and they're already here. The same thing, drilled 1 foot. I'll go through and pre-drill these as well. Now to attach my channel to my bows, just use 3/4 inch Tech screws. Pretty simple. Use a clamp. This way I have an extra hand. Clamp it in place, which holds it in place for me. I got my pre-drilled track. I drive a screw. There we go. Now I just continue on each hole all the way around. As you go, you just bend it. Set your clamp, hold it in place. and drive your next screw. Same thing when we get to the top. I'll just stop right before where the peak is, clamp it, and then I'll grab the whole thing and just bend it down. So we'll go and do this in time lapse. Okay, got one side down. One thing I did discover while doing this was I took this one off originally because I had it starting clear down here at the bottom, and now it ends up here instead of down here. But because of that, I went up to the top and started one of my pieces in the center and bent it halfway, and then just brought this down on both sides. This is one of my old pieces, which it turns out is actually 8 foot. And then we come over here to the other side, which is one of my new pieces, which turns out is about 8 foot 11. And over here it comes all the way down to the bottom, which is fine. That's actually really good on this side because this will be the north side. I have most of the wind blowing up against this side of it, and that's what will buffer the most in the winter, so I can pull that good and tight and not have to worry about it. I'll be venting through the ends with my end wall systems I'm going to build out. So for now, I'm going to go over, do the other side, get that all tacked up. Then after that, pretty much wait for a little bit cooler temperature, try to get down. Preferably best time to pull plastic is around 60 degrees and not sunny. But I think we might have some patchy frost coming, which is not going to hurt the lettuce down here, all the little plugs, but it will slow it. And we're on the edge of when this is planted, and I really don't want to slow it if at all possible. So I'm going to try to get the plastic on the next couple days, and when I do that, I'll bring you out and finish up this video on it. Okay, got a nice clear morning. Sun is just starting to peek the trees over there. Got my wiggle wire. I'm going to get the skin on this thing real quick. I'm going to leave it long and dirty for now. It's supposed to frost tonight. Frost won't kill this, but it'll sure slow it down, so I really want to get this covered no matter what. So I'm just going to leave the extra at both ends, and let's put some sandbags on it or something. Wiggle wire track, both ends. I'll get the rope, start to run it back and forth for the caterpillar shape. But let me show you here. So I've got here single roll 6 mil greenhouse poly. Got it from I believe Greenhouse Mega Store. It is 28 foot wide to go over the tunnel, 75 foot long because my tunnel is 42 feet, and then it is about 8 foot from top to bottom, so that's 16 more, and 40, which would be 60 some, but the closest links I could find was 75. So that's what the plan is. I'm going to leave a good amount over here to start with, so I'll leave at least the 8 foot hanging down, and then probably another, probably 4 foot. That way I can cut it off and leave a couple feet at the end so I can move this and easily have enough next time, and then have enough to build out my end wall. Oh, to start with, I'm just going to roll it out and leave a bunch extra here. Okay, now for the fun part. The way this stuff's rolled up, everything's kind of book folded in towards the middle of each of these. So you grab one from the middle and pull out. That'll go over the top. There's actually some words written over here on this far end that says this side in. We're going to hope that that's the right way, because it should end up with this side in, because it appears to be, well, no, there it is right there. So there's my this side in. So that's this side, which is the top side. So what I'm going to have to do is open this up, and then grab it from this side, pull it over the top of the tunnel. I'm going to get it basically just draped over it, kind of get it into place. I'll grab a couple pieces of wiggle wire and hit a little spot here and a little spot on each of the four corners. That way it'll be secured down at least in case the wind starts kicking up, because we're going to have 15 to 20 mile per hour winds coming through at any time. That's why I'm really rushing just to get this thing on here now. So here we go. Well, actually went a lot smoother than I anticipated. It's a little bit of a pain getting it right over these peaks right here in the corner. It seems to act like a catching point on it. But other than that, I just had to feed it up over the top. And then I got a nice little gust of wind there that really picked up the center and really got it over. But for now, I've got some weights on the corners because the wind is just starting to kick up just a little bit. And then I'm going to go through, I'm going to start putting the wiggle wire on the rest of the outside here. Now the wiggle wire is pretty easy to install. Start down at the bottom, work your way up, just go back and forth. So use your thumb, turn it in, use your index and your thumb, turn it in. You can do two hands, one hand, and just go all the way across. The very end one, very gently let it in, because a lot of times I like to snap back and cut the plastic. I'll be reusing this, so I prefer not to have holes in it. So then your next one, same thing, just start it. I always try to start one groove above the previous one. Feels like I get a good secure grip that way, so just continue across. Till I'm down to the end down there. So I got this side wiggle wired in all the way up, all the way down the other side. I just got to cut off a little bit of the extra, just regular wire cutters. And I'll go down and do the other side, but this time as I do it, I'm going to pull the plastic somewhat taut, not super taut, but you'll see. I mean, ideally you want to do it, the plastic stretching around 60 degrees. That way during the winter it tightens up and doesn't baffle as much in the wind. But I don't even know what degrees it is right now, but this is time I got. The ropes that go back and forth also help a lot with the baffling of it too, because they'll make a cross every single one of these bow sections. So I'm going to go get that done, and then I'll show you getting the rope strung across it. Now for stringing the Caterpillar tunnel, got 3/8 UV resistant nylon rope. I got this off of Amazon actually. I think this is a 500-foot roll. I've already done that tunnel over there with it. I had the quick cat tunnel that was over here that was only 3 rows wide and 40 foot long, which I got that piece down here. I'm going to use that to start with, and I'll connect on with this as I need. Best way to reel it out, set it on some sawhorses, clamp it, that way you can just pull it as you go. I'll tie off down at the far end, and then I'll throw it over, hook to the next carabiner, and work my way back and forth until I have it crossed. So I got one run down. I went from the far end, actually over there, and then wiggled back and forth, ended up down here. But that's basically the gist of it. You go over the center of each division of the bow. So we clipped here, then we throw over, clip over there, come back over, clip here. So basically we just skip one on each side as we go down. Then our next rope, which generally I leave that in one piece, but since I had that piece already, it just ended up right there. I would have just taken it and looped it over that far bow on the inside of it, and then just started the process all over again. But a lot easier, 2 people. I will need another person here later, because I will have to tighten the tunnel down. I'll get that second rope here on later this afternoon. I got to run some errands this morning, and I'll get back with it. Okay, So I got the plastic stretch, got the ropes on, everything's good and tight, and we're good to go on it. Now this is only part 2 of 3 on putting together this caterpillar tunnel. Next time will be my Ray Tyler style scissor end wall on the end. So I hope y'all like what you saw today. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all. Have a good day.